What's going on, everybody? It is Monday, September 7th, Labor Day here in America. Happy Labor Day to everybody. Just wanted to finally do my 2015 Detroit Lions prediction video. I said I was going to do this. Games in 6 days, finally. So here we go. Let's do this. So right off the bat, everyone wants to talk about how the first 4 games is a gauntlet for Detroit. It's not easy. No matter who you're playing, 3 out of the 4 games being away, it's pretty rough. And if you look at it in quarters, you have 4 quarters, 4 quarters. First 4 games is your first quarter, obviously. You got at Chargers, at Vikings, home against the Broncos, and at the Seahawks. Now, everyone's saying, oh, Lions are going to go 0-4, Lions are going to go 1-3. I think as long as they go 2-2 out of this, that they'll be in good shape because the next 8 games get a lot easier. But I actually think that based on the fact that we have had no major injuries this preseason, we're getting Nada back. Bells will be back. Jason Jones should be back. We're getting a lot of guys back, and we haven't lost it. Hopefully, Warford should be back, and same with Waddle. Hopefully, he'll be back too. But if not, we got Cornelius Lucas, which isn't the best, but at least he's got some game experience. So right off the bat, at the Chargers this Sunday, I think the Lions win that game. If you go back and look under Phillip Rivers, the Chargers seem to start slow. It takes them maybe a month and a half before they finally kick it in gear. So I'm actually glad that they're playing them this early, plus having their running back be a rookie. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time to get settled into the NFL game. So I think we win week 1 at San Diego. Week 2 at Minnesota. Again, I'm glad we're playing them early and not having to go up to Minnesota in December when it's, negative degrees out. Because since they're still playing, this is the final year they're playing outside at the Gophers Stadium. So I think they win this one too, everybody. Minnesota, AP is still going to – he played 1 game last year, of course, missed the rest of the year with the suspension, didn't play it all preseason. So it's going to take him a few games to get back into it, I believe so. Plus, Bridgewater's still young. Our run defense is still going to be pretty damn good. It may not be, 70 yards a game like it was last year, but it's still going to be pretty good. And they're going to probably run Peterson heavy. So I think the Lions win this one as well. They start out 2-0, 1-0 in the division. Come week 3, Sunday Night Football, Denver Broncos. And I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to be bold move right here. I think the Lions blow out Denver in this game. I think the new coaching staff will make a difference. I think Peyton Manning being old and weak basically is going to make a difference. Their running game isn't as strong. They still got Demaryius Thomas, of course, but they got rid of Julius Thomas. The defense is still pretty good. But Lions home opener on a Sunday night, big stage, I just have a feeling that the Lions are going to blow out Denver in that game. The bad part of that is they're going to go into the next game at Seattle, riding off that high of being 3-0. Everyone's talking about them. They just came off of blowing out Denver, going to Seattle on a Monday night. That's 2 primetime games in a row, and I think they look pretty bad. They're not going to get blown out, but it's going to be one of those games where everyone goes, oh, see, it's the same old Lions, even though they'll be 3-0. But I think they're going to struggle. It's hard to beat Seattle in Seattle. I think they've only lost, 1 or 2 home games in the last 3 years. So I think they lose that game. They start out 3-1, win the first quarter of the season. Going into the next 8 games, like I said, it's a lot easier. Put it this way. In the next 8 games, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, only one of those is a true road game. So in 9 weeks, because there's a bye in there, in 9 weeks, they will travel outside of Detroit twice. But both with one of them being the London game. So they only have one true road game, and that road game is at Green Bay, coming off of a bye week. So they get 2 weeks to prepare for Green Bay in Green Bay, which of course is where we struggle at. But that's where we're at. So we're 3-1, coming to host Arizona for our second home game. Carson Palmer, all these guys, Larry Fitzgerald. I think we win this one. It's another home game. If we were going to Arizona, I probably would have this as a loss. But being that it's in Detroit and the way they lost the last 2 times going to Arizona, I think we win this one. So we start out 4-1, host the Bears, who is an absolute train wreck of a team. Again, that's going to be a blowout. It's a 1 o'clock normal game. Chicago is probably sitting at like 1-5 around this point, something like that, 2-4. So we blow out Chicago. We beat Arizona. Is a good game. Well, I'm not saying we're blowing out that one. None of the only ones I call blowouts so far, Denver and Chicago. Now we got Minnesota at home. Since we beat them the first time, it's going to be harder than it should be, because Minnesota's not going to want to get swept. But I think again that we win this one. I put it this way: I think it's going to be a really good season. If you can't tell, my expectations for this team are just sky high. We beat Minnesota, sweep them in the division, and then going to Kansas City. Now, like I said, this is the London game. I want to say that we're going to win this one. We probably should, but I'll put it this way. I'm glad that this game is in London, because going to Kansas City isn't the easiest thing. But I'm just going to, because we're sitting at, what I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-1 at this point. I think the Lions lose this one, go 6-2, get 2 weeks to prepare for Green Bay. And as a big Lions fan that I am, I just can't predict that the Lions are going to beat Green Bay until they actually do it in Green Bay. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to say we lose that one as well, but a lot closer. It's going to be a close one like it was last year. So I'm thinking we're sitting at 6-3, hosting Oakland week before Thanksgiving, another blowout. We're gonna just overwhelm Derek Carr. It's gonna be a blast. Then next game we had Thanksgiving against Philly. Win that one. Sitting at 8-3. I don't think Philly's gonna be that good this year. A lot of people have them as a division champion, all that stuff. I just think now, after 2 years, I think defenses are finally figuring out Chip Kelly's offense, and I doubt Sam Bradford will be there by this point. He's more likely going to be hurt by now. How can you say anything else? He's been hurt the last, 3 seasons in a row? So we're going to win that one. Next week, we have Green Bay, Thursday night, 2 Thursday games in a row. We lost to them in my prediction here. We lose to them on the road, host Green Bay on a Thursday night, and we split with them. I think we win this one pretty good. Sitting at 9-3, going into the last 4 games of the season, with going to St. Louis, getting to see Nick Fairley, and 1 o'clock game. I think we win that one as well. The Rams aren't that good. Let's be honest. Jeff Fisher hasn't really. He's Mr. 8-8. They won't be able to handle our defensive line, and I think that's a pretty high scoring game for us. And then at New Orleans, I originally thought that we were going to lose this game, but sitting at where we're at right now, and I know it's a Monday night. I know how they play in the Superdome. I think this is the game that we finally beat a team on the road who will finish the year with a winning record. I think we beat the Saints again, just like we did last year. We got to win one of these marquee games that we're told that we're not going to win on the road, and I think this is the one. I think we beat the Saints, and then the next week we have the 49ers, which will be a little bit tougher coming off that game. but we still take care of business. 49ers just trash, man. Jim Harbaugh left. He had all these players either leave or retire or get suspended. I mean, they are going to be just awful. So we win that one. At this point, we're sitting at 12-3, and I think at this point we'll already have the division locked up. So we're going to be sitting Calvin. We're going to be sitting Stafford. Might play the beginning, but probably not, because the way Caldwell has done in the past when Indy used to have everything wrapped up. So I think we actually lose at Chicago, but that's just because we won't be playing anybody, and it'll just be a throwaway game, basically ready for the playoffs. But that's my final prediction. I think the Lions will go 12-4 this year. Second year in the system on both sides of the ball. Losing Sue will be rough, but if you look at the numbers, we were 16th in defense in 2013, and we move all the way up to number 2. I mean, all the stats went up tremendously, and that wasn't just because of Sue. That was because of the defensive coordinator. And I think Teryl Austin continues to put people in the right positions. I think our defense is still going to be pretty good. Our offense is it's got to be better. It can't be much worse than it was last year. That was just so stale. It was a stale offense. Second year in the system. Stafford's going to be better. Our running backs are going to be better. We have 3 receivers now. I think Ebron's going to be a little bit better. The offensive line can't be much worse either. They gave up, 60-some sacks last year? So 12-4. I think this schedule isn't as daunting as everybody thinks. The teams that are rough, those first two games will definitely be telling. If we go and lose to both of those teams, San Diego and Minnesota, it might be a little rougher than I thought. But I think we take care of business in both of those. And I think having those 8 games in the middle, where only one is a true road game, being at Green Bay with a 2-week break or a 2-week being able to prepare for them after the bye, I think it's going to set up perfectly. And I think we're going to be sitting pretty at 12-4 at the end of the year. And I think this is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be a fun year to be a Lions fan for once. The unfortunate part of that is I think this is the last year we have Teryl Austin. So we need to make use of what we got with him. And I think we will. I think the defense will slide back a little bit, maybe go, we'll still be top 5, I think, but it won't be, number 2 and historically good on rush defense like it was last year. I think the offense will definitely be much better. The running game should be better with Joique Bell hopefully staying healthy. Amir Abdullah is an upgrade over Reggie Bush. I think Ebron gets better. I think adding Tim Wright is an upgrade over Joe Fourier. I know he's a big fan favorite, but guy can't stay healthy. And look what Wright did with New England last year. I think at least just give us a little bit, the 20, 30 catches a year this season. I think is going to be good enough for Tim Wright. Lance Moore being our 3rd receiver is going to be a big upgrade over Corey Fuller at that spot. Having Corey Fuller as a 4 is going to be big on 4 wide sets. We finally have a kicker. I mean, there's really, if you go down the roster, there's nowhere where you're like, crap, we are sitting horribly at this spot. We got a quarterback. We got the running backs. We got the receivers. Tight end's a little there, but it's not like it's a big hole. And the potential is great there. Offensive line, we're good at left tackle. Tomlinson is played pretty good in the preseason. If he struggles, they got Manny Ramirez to come in to help out there. Swanson we'll see where he's at. He looked pretty good last year in the little bit that he played. Warford, as long as he can stay healthy. And then Waddle, again, as long as he can stay healthy as well, then I think we're sitting pretty good on the offensive line. As a whole, our offense should be a lot better in the second year in the system, and the defense will just continue to be pretty good. So that's my prediction. Real quick, as my division winners for the NFC, I got Detroit, I got New York Giants. I might be the only one saying that, but Giants for the East, Saints for the South, and Seattle, of course, for the West. With Seattle getting the number 1 seed, Detroit getting the number 2 seed, Saints 3, Giants 4. The West side, I got Pittsburgh winning the North on the AFC side. I got the Patriots winning the East. I got, of course, the Colts winning the South because that's just a shit division. And then the West, got to go Denver by default just because that's another crappy division. Maybe San Diego if they can pick it up towards the end of the year like they normally do. And then on that side, you know, Patriots the 1 seed, Colts the 2 seed, Steelers the 3 seed, and Denver the 4 seed. And then I have for my Super Bowl, I got to go. As much as people might not like this, I think New England's going to win the Super Bowl again. The way they come out after adversity. Remember the last time that when Spygate came out, that was the year they went 18-0 and then lost that fluke Super Bowl. So I think that they're going to come out and blow a lot of teams out. I got New England over Seattle. See, I don't want to say it's the same Super Bowl, but really it's hard. Who's going to challenge there? There's no one in the AFC that can really challenge New England. Maybe Baltimore because they're the only team that seems to beat New England in the playoffs. And on the NFC side, Seattle is unbeatable at home. So who's going to go into Seattle and beat them? It's hard to predict anyone else. Obviously, it's really hard to have the same two teams, so it's more likely not going to happen. But just looking at the teams as they are right now, and if Seattle is the number 1 seed, I just don't see anyone going to Seattle and beating them. So it's it's too easy to say New England over Seattle again, but I just don't see anything else. Because of those reasons, I don't see anyone challenging either one of those two teams in the playoffs. And I think this is the last year of both sides. I think this is the last year that New England's going to be as good as they are, and I think this is the last year for Seattle. Now that they paid Russell Wilson, I think you're going to see a lot of players start trailing off because a lot of that money is being allocated to him that was going to other players on the defense, and that defense is going to take a hit. They lost their coordinator already, so I think this is the last year for Seattle to be dominant. But it's hard to see anything else right now other than Patriots and Seattle. But that's why it's September. I mean, anything could happen. That's where we're going. That's where I think right now, like I said, the Lions, I think, are going to win the division for the first time in the NFC North. They haven't won the division since, 97, I believe. Or 93, I'm sorry. 93 was the last time they won the division with the NFC Central. So 12-4. And Minnesota, since that seems to be everyone's darling pick in the North, other than us Lions fans, I think that they will be no better than 8-8. I don't care that AP's back. I don't buy all this Teddy Bridgewater hype. I don't buy the Mike Wallace hype. They are not going to be as good as what people think they are. So that's my predictions. Let me know what you guys think. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of people saying I'm a homer and there's no way that we're going 12-4, but just look at our roster. That's all I got to say. Just look at our roster and tell me why we're not going to go 12-4 and why we don't have a good chance against a lot of these teams. So that's it for me. I'll catch you guys later. And Friday night I'll probably do a preview video and do my normal schedule of preview videos on Friday and a recap on Monday. So I'll see you guys later. Go Lions. Have a good Labor Day. See you guys.